Everyone loves spreadsheets. Actually, they don't. But check this out. Okay, Monday.com, get started, import from spreadsheet, and... holy shit! And no, this is not just a spreadsheet. Everyone loves spreadsheets. Actually, they don't. But check this out. I said easy. No offense. And just in case you needed more reasons to ditch spreadsheets, you can build
Oke.
Manzara.
Hai Adlin, apa khabar? Sihat? Okey, kejap Ya saya. Slide tak apa, slide pencermat akan present sendiri. Semua student dekat YouTube kan? Betul tak? Hai Puan Prabha, apa khabar? Sihat?
Hai Dr. Khairi, sihat. Dr. Khairi macam mana, sihat?
Sihat. Saya punya internet ni macam problem lah. Boleh dengar ke tak saya punya ni? Suara saya?
Dr. Khairi boleh dengar?
Boleh dengar, okey.
Boleh, clear.
Tapi katakan kalau Puan Prabha nak keluar dulu ke apa, boleh keluar sebab kita akan mula pada pukul 10 ataupun saya buat briefing dulu macam mana saya cakap nanti. So mana? Okay. Aflin, saya share dulu ya. Bagi saya share dulu ya. Saya nak briefing sikit untuk. Okey. Untuk hari ni Puan Prabha, kita punya cara mudah saja. Okey, boleh nampak tak saya punya touch ni? Okey, boleh. Cara macam ni, saya akan buka majlis terus bila katakan MC nanti. Ada MC tak Ashraf? Ashraf apa? Kita ada MC tak? Ke saya terus buka Aflin? Yusri, sorry. Kita ada MC kita. Oh bukan MC. Oh live je. Okey, kalau macam tu saya lah kot. Okey. Kalau nanti tak ada, kalau memang tak ada MC yang akan buka, maknanya pukul 10 saya akan buka. So saya akan mulakan dengan ucapan selamat pagi macam tu. Bismillah, Assalamualaikum. Lepas tu kita akan ada bacaan umum kita Al-Fatihah. And then saya akan bagi greetings. Maksudnya Alhamdulillah semua ni ECO 415. Saya perkenalkan diri saya sebagai moderator. Lepas tu saya akan jemput Puan Prabha lah untuk ni. Tapi sebelum saya jemput Puan Prabha nanti, saya akan baca biodata dulu. Contohnya penceramah pendidikan UUM 2011, 2012 and then doktor. And then dari segi kerjaya, saya akan bagi tahulah Puan Prabha daripada Financial Agency Sdn Bhd, pengalaman 12 tahun. Lepas tu saya akan bacakan sedikit tentang working experience ni. Okay, itu satu. Dan masa Puan Prabha bagi ceramah nanti, saya akan interrupt jugalah. Tapi tak banyak Puan. Saya akan tanya 3 soalan. Yang pertama untuk slide yang market structure tu. Bila Puan dah kenalkan organisasi, saya akan tanyalah organisasi ni dia beroperasi dalam market structure yang macam mana. So saya pun tahu dia lebih kepada PPS. So Puan boleh teruskan pembetaangan lepas tu. Lepas tu bila sampai yang kos yang agak minyak tu, saya akan tanya sebab ini antara isu juga. Macam mana dia mempunyai syarikat, so puan akan jawab. And then akan ada juga soalan sebab MCO menyebabkan waktu bekerja berubah kan puan kan?
Betul.
So saya akan tanya soalnya 3 soalan daripada saya dan kita akan pergi kepada sesi soal jawab. Yang ni saya akan baca daripada ni lah nanti. Lepas tu bila puan dah jawab 4 soalan daripada student ataupun 5, saya akan bagi tahu sebelum kita akhiri program. Saya harap maybe Puan Prabha boleh bagi apa-apa kesimpulan tentang course management ni ataupun nak bagi pesanan pada student ke, tak ada masalah. It's up to you berkaitan dengan tajuk. Lepas tu saya akan tutup lah majlis ni masa sekian and then kita akan ada daftar kelahiran tu ni kan, anak kan. Okay, link kehadiran. Itu saja puan. Very simple.
Sure.
Puan ada nak request apa-apa? Hai Dr. Zuriati. Ini kawan saya Puan Prabha.
Hai, Assalamualaikum.
Hai.
And good morning, Puan Prabha.
Morning, Dr. Zuriati. How are you?
Fine, Alhamdulillah.
Sebenarnya jangan bimbang, you all jangan bimbang sebab kalau Prabha nak tahu, Puan Zuriati ni kawan baik saya sebenarnya. Kawan baik saya Dr. Zuriati. So memang kita duduk 4 dalam ni memang okey, jangan bimbanglah doktor, insyaAllah. Doktor nak tanya, ada link tak? Ni ada tak link? Letak dekat chat nanti kalau macam Eri tu boleh letak link, maksudnya yang tu nanti ni letak kan? Ni letak dekat YouTube ya?
Link YouTube. Aflin dah ada, Aflin, link YouTube.
Link YouTube dah ada belum?
Dia boleh bagi tak?
Bagus
nanti
lah.
sudah nak masuk.
Sudah nak masuk dulu kan? Ni ada nak request apa-apa tak?
Tak ada apa setakat ni. Cuma terima kasih Puan Prabha kerana sudi untuk berkongsi lah pada hari ni.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Actually grateful to Dr. Kari for inviting me actually.
Okay, thank you.
InsyaAllah, jangan bimbang. Moderator pun saya sebenarnya nak mudahkan kerja sebab masa tu saya ada fikir dengan Dr. Zuriati. Saya cakap kita nak jemput siapa sebab orang industri it's not easy lah kita nak jemput kan, program pula hari Sabtu. Lepas tu yang saya plan nak jemput Puan Prabha ni sebab Puan Prabha ni dia graduan ekonomi, doktor. So maknanya kita orang yang betul-betul tepat, orang ekonomi kerja dalam industri. So boleh.
Hopefully.
Boleh, insyaAllah, jangan bimbang, saya ada.
Okay, hopefully sebab ekonomi kan, ekonomi apa semua. Kita pun pelajar-pelajar itu pun daripada pelajar-pelajar ekonomi juga. Kemudian adalah beberapa program lain macam account yang ambil subjek ekonomi itulah. Okay. So ni untuk application diorang lah. Diorang belajar teori, so bila talk ni rujuk kepada application daripada teori yang diorang belajar.
Because what we study usually sometimes doesn't imply what we actually use in industry kan.
Sebenarnya.
Macam mana nak execute whatever we study ni macam berbeza sikit.
Sekejap, saya tak tukar lagi saya punya background. Confidence saya memang tinggi. Macam mana nak tukar background ni? Assalamualaikum Dr. Fadilah. Doktor, saya mana saya punya ni? Macam mana kita nak tukar ni Prabha? Macam Prabha.
Tadi ni macam berbeza. Sekali pergi dekat effect.
Sudah, moderator tak tahu. Effect ada kat mana? Dia butang mana?
Sekejap. You try apply visual effect.
Ya, visual effect. Okay, kita kena tambah ini nampak tu PKP. Saya pun tak sure. Tukar ni, yang ni tu. Ini nampak tu PKP. Betul. Betul. Okay, Puan Prabha boleh rehat dulu 15 minit sebelum
Ya.
kita mula. Awak ni next week kita ada untuk ni kan, untuk apa? Untuk Munal. Untuk Munal kan next week. Nanti pinjam dia. Dr. Zuriati. Apa tadi? Yusri, boleh share tak link yang terkini YouTube tu? Sebab student saya tak dapat lagi. Share kat saya bagi kat dia orang lah. Letak dekat chat box pun tak apa, Yusri. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yusri boleh dengar suara saya jelas? Okey, kita mula sekejap lagi ya. Nanti bagi tahu saya bila dah boleh mula. Boleh mula? Okey, saya mula ya. Okey, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Diharapkan agar semua yang menyertai program pada hari ini akan terus kekal sihat dan bertenaga serta ceria selalu. Sebelum kita memulakan program pada hari ini dan bagi memberkati lagi majlis ilmu kita, mari kita bersama-sama membaca ummul kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin. Okey. Alhamdulillah pada pagi yang indah ini kita sama-sama dapat meluangkan masa dan berkumpul untuk mendengar satu topik yang sangat menarik pada pandangan saya, khususnya kepada ahli akademik dan para pelajar bersama penceramah yang hebat yang didatangkan secara maya. Tajuk webinar kita pada hari ini adalah program pengajaran kolaborasi ECO 415 Mikroekonomi, di mana kita akan melihat kepada pengaplikasian kos dan pengeluaran dalam industri. Sebelum itu, saya Muhammad Khairi Ismail sebagai moderator anda pada pagi ini ingin kasih kepada Jabatan Ekonomi UiTM Cawangan Kelantan dengan kerjasama Jabatan Ekonomi UiTM Cawangan Terengganu di atas penganjuran program pada hari ini. Bagi meneruskan program pada hari ini, saya akan menjemput penceramah kita untuk meneruskan perkongsian ilmu kepada para pelajar di mana berfokuskan kepada konsep kos dan pengeluaran dalam industri, di mana ceramah kita pada hari ini lebih kepada kajian kes di mana kita melihat bagaimana konsep yang kita belajar di dalam bilik kuliah diaplikasikan dalam realiti sebenar. Sebelum itu, izinkan saya membaca sedikit latar belakang penceramah kita pada hari ini. Apa orang cakap, kalau tak kenal maka tak cinta. Kalau kita tak tahu dulu macam mana kita nak faham, macam mana kita nak ada chemistry antara penceramah dan juga penonton semua. Okey. Penceramah kita pada hari ini adalah Puan Prabha Anamalai. Apa khabar Puan Prabha? Sihat?
Ya, sihat. Dr. Khairi macam mana? Sihat?
Ya, alhamdulillah. Terima kasih Puan Prabha kerana menerima jemputan daripada UiTM Cawangan Kelantan dan juga Terengganu untuk berkongsi dengan para pelajar pada hari ini. Okay.
Terima kasih kepada Dr. Khairi untuk menjemput saya juga. Really grateful for this invitation for today's morning.
Okay. Sebelum tu saya ingin membaca sedikit tentang latar belakang kita dari segi latar belakang pendidikan dan pengalaman yang saya rasa agak-agak luas lah pada usia beliau. Okey. Penceramah kita pada hari ini adalah berkelulusan Ijazah Sarjana Muda Ekonomi daripada Universiti Utara Malaysia pada tahun 2000. Ijazah Sarjana Muda Ekonomi daripada Universiti Utara Malaysia pada tahun 2000. Ijazah Sarjana Muda Ekonomi daripada Universiti Utara Malaysia dalam bidang pada tahun 2000. Ijazah Sarjana Muda Ekonomi menamatkan pengajian pada tahun 2015 dan seterusnya menyambungkan pengajian di peringkat Doktor Pentadbiran Perniagaan ataupun kita panggil DBA pada tahun 2020 sehingga sekarang. Maksudnya penceramah kita hari ini bukan hanya seorang yang berkerjaya yang terlibat dalam industri, namun seorang yang mengikuti terlibat dalam pendidikan. Okay. Dari segi kerjaya, penceramah kita pada hari ini berkhidmat di Penang Shipping Agency Senjang Berhad. Dia merupakan senior eksekutif dari Universiti Agency Senjang Berhad. Dia merupakan senior eksekutif dari Universiti Agency Senjang. Dia boleh dikatakan lebih satu dekad, 12 tahun, di mana mempunyai pengalaman dalam bidang perkhidmatan, involved in the brokering, negotiation, licensing, with custom and government agency, and terlibat juga dalam beberapa urusan perniagaan yang melibatkan perkhidmatan. Dari segi pengalaman, beliau merupakan eksekutif pemasaran di Penang Shipping Agency sejak tahun 2010 sehingga tahun 2015. Dan seterusnya telah diberi kepercayaan sebagai pengurus kanan bahagian operasi bermula daripada tahun 2016 sehingga ke hari ini. So kita nampak pengalaman 12 tahun ni agak-agak luas dan kita amat berbesar hati kerana yang memberi ceramah pada hari ini mempunyai latar belakang dari segi ekonomi. So kita boleh lihat nanti bagaimana seorang graduan ekonomi menghubungkan apa yang dibelajar di universiti dalam realiti sebenar. Okey, tanpa membuang masa lagi, saya menjemput Puan Prabha untuk memulakan sesi perkongsian pada hari ini. Okay,
thank you Dr. Kari. Let me share my slide first.
Okay.
Okay, can everyone see my slide here?
Okay, it's presenting, yeah. Maybe you can make it as a screen.
Okay, Dr. Kari, can you view my slide here?
Yeah, yes, I can see that.
Okay, so I think Dr. Kari already explained on the...
Madam Prabha, can you make it in the full screen mode?
Pardon?
Full screen, besarkan.
I think I already made it as a screen mode here.
Okay, maybe you can try to reshare again.
Reshare again, stop sharing.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
It's okay, it's normal during the COVID.
Okay, can you view again?
Yeah. Masih dalam ni lah apa? Cuba tekan sekali.
Okay, now?
Masih sama.
Sama. Hold on.
Ya.
So, I think I have to share the entire screen if not mistaken.
The entire, ya.
Hold on.
Okay, no problem. It's normal.
Okay. How about now?
Okay, nice.
Okay. Sorry for the disturbance just now. So I'm not quite familiar with this Google Meet because I used to Webex and Zoom.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, let's look into our topic for today. It will be about cost management in Penang shipping agencies during and after the pandemic. So, let me introduce my company here. Penang Shipping have been commenced the business in Penang around 1982, and we are the pioneer as the leading independent shipping agencies with a long list of representatives. So we have provided a lot of services such as maritime services, forwarding, consultation, transportation, import and export declaration. It is inclusive air and sea freight forwarding and also warehousing. So let me show you, this is my family. We don't call this as an employee. Sorry, can you be my this as of Penang Shipping? We are multiracials of families here. I think 4 members are missing here, but it's okay. So I hope you can view here. So let's go to the main part here, the pillars of Penang Shipping. So these are the 2 founders of this Penang Shipping who have struggled a lot during the initial stage with the hardship. It's not easy to bring up a business up to 40 years without determination and also dedications, especially to maintain the quality in these sectors. Because if you know, Penang Shipping is a service company. So if you didn't provide a proper service, so means your customer won't be there for you. So let me introduce our 2 directors here. Mr. Chow Kim Seng, our Director, Shipping Specialist, and Mr. G. Anamalai, Director for Forwarding Specialist. So we have 2 specialists here who handling the main shipments in Penang Shipping. So in the initial stage of this Penang Shippings in 1982, I think there was just a handful of employees. About 4 or 3 of them only. So most of the documentations are manual during the time and was all handled by these two gentlemen. So I feel like you can feel the hardness, right? How these 2 persons can manage as an individuals to bring up this company to such a much of now there are a lot of employees in our companies compared to the initial stage 40 years back. So next, let me introduce our main supporters of Penang Shipping, the pioneer staff. So this is Miss Lolian and also we call address Katsum. So I'm really proud to introduce these 2 ladies here because they was with Penang Shipping about 30 years plus. And they started as a clerk in Penang Shipping initially, and now they have a high position in Penang Shipping. It's all because of their hard work and their dedication to this company. So, and the more interesting part here is, we have ex-UiTM student in our office as well. Let me introduce Miss Nurliana binti Abdul Majid. She initially started her career in Penang Shipping as an intern. She did her intern for 6 months and we really impressed with her work, and we hire her for, we actually offer her permanent job. So now it almost 8 years she been servicing in Penang Shipping, and this is Nur Shuhada. She just recently joined us 2 months ago and still under probation. And so far so good. Her performance was good. So what I trying to say here is, so far what we concern, ex-UiTM student is really capable. So I wish more students can enroll in these sectors as well. So if anyone interested, you may also join shipping industries like freight forwardings. Maybe you can start out with as an intern. So maybe if you have the feeling of interest, maybe you can pursue further, like how Onoliana Majid have give a try on this industry, and she can sustain up to 8 years now. So let's look into what our main job scope here. As a Penang Shipping, our main job scope is as a forwarding agent, or also known as the custom brokerage. So what is the role of the forwarding agent here? Okay, we here is to facilitate shipments for the imports and exporters, while also acting as the guarantor to ensure that commercial operations take place under the agreed condition. Which means to say, whatever shipments arrive or is about to export, we are the intermediate for the customer and also customs agent. That is Royal Custom Malaysia. So besides that, we also act as the consultant for the import and exporters in terms of the shipping costs, suitable tariff codes, best routing, transit times, insurance, and etc. Okay, what we mean here by consultant? So when there is a shipment, whether it's incoming or outgoing, let's say for example for import, if a customer want to import goods from overseas, for example China, what are the requirements? What are the documents? Are the goods need special permits, license? So your customer aren't aware about all this, but as a consultant, you're aware about all this. So you need to be the intermediate for them, to advise them what are the required documents, required details, and what are the duties they're going to pay, SSTs. So you as an advisor have to make sure their shipments smoothly arrive in Malaysia and delivered to their factory. Besides that, we also responsible in the clearing of import and export shipment compiled to the custom regulation. Yes, that's what I mean earlier. So we have to make sure that all the documentation are, is properly compiled to the custom regulation. So there is no cheat or any short declarations. So you must be very, very careful on this. So besides that, we are also very highly specialized in applying for the export and import permits. Like what I said earlier, certain goods require special requirements where you need to apply for the import and export permits. Without this documentation, your goods are not allowed to enter Malaysia, or you cannot clear it out. So it will be idle at the port. Until you obtain these documents, you cannot get your goods. So in that case, what will happen? We will be we will play the part here, helping our customers to apply all these permits. So you might ask me, why not customer apply this permit themselves? So that is a pro and cons as well. When customer apply themselves, they might not aware certain details. They might not aware what are the documents to attach. Since we are we are closely connected with the customs, so we know much things about what is happening in our surroundings. So we know better what to attach, what to declare, and what to mention in the application system. So this makes the process move faster and efficient, and we didn't allow any kind of delays during the shipments process going on. So that is all about our main job scopes here. So this is actually the yes, doctor.
Can you explain the type of the market structure for this company? Is it a monopoly or
definitely it's not a monopoly, because we've been having a lot of competitors in these sectors. If you see in Penang alone, there are a lot of freight forwarders. So we compete, but one thing I can tell here, it's not about price, because most of us have the standardized price, not much difference from other forwarders, but we are different in terms of service, what the service and the quality of the service. So the novelty here is how you are different from other agents. That's what's really important. If you see here, not many agents are able to apply this kind of permits. So yes, they will, but not many have the specialization in applying all this. So they will expect customer apply themselves. So in our services, we provide them A to Z. So that shows that we are different from others. So we can do everything for our customers in order their shipments can be delivered on time without any delays. So that is a trust we can bring to our customers here. Dr. Karya, I think I have answered your question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next look into the import flow. Okay, this chart might look complicated, but let me make it simplify here. So let me use an example. Okay, let's say UiTM is about to import furnitures from China. So they can't just bring in, just look a supplier and just bring in the furniture. They need an agent at Malaysia to really clear their goods and deliver to UiTM. So what will happen here? UiTM will appoint Penang Shipping, for example, as their agent. So we as the agent will advise UiTM. So in order for you to bring in the furniture, what are the requirements? Does this furniture incur any duties? Does require any special requirements, special permits? So we will check on that and advise to UiTM. So upon this advice, UiTM will start do the purchasing from the supplier at the China, for example. So once the shipment effective at China, so it's already on board on the vessel. So supplier will provide all the shipping documents to UiTM, and UiTM will forward to Penang Shipping for reference. So once upon receiving the shipping documents, what we will do is we can monitor the shipments. We have systems where we can monitor the arrival of vessels or containers in Malaysia. So or else we also can check with the shipping agents. So we will upon checking all these, okay, so we know already, okay, this vessels is going to arrive on, let's say, on the 25th of June. So we will do the declaration, we will submit all the documentation to the custom officers. So custom officers will have a look, okay, all in order, so I'm satisfied and I will release the shipment. So same goes in case there is a minor doubt or some things and queries on the documents, what will happen? In certain cases, custom officers will require us to do the full container, not full container, container examination. So upon examination, they satisfy, yes, whatever inside the container is furniture, so we are satisfied with that, so they will endorse and then we release the shipment. So upon the release, so what next is, we will notify our transporter, that is the haulier, to truck out the container from the port and send it to UiTM. So upon arrival of the container at the UiTM, so UiTM immediately can unload that, and then the empty container we will send it back to the shipping lines depot. So this is the process what as a whole import shipments is I just simplify for you guys to understand. So when the process settle or done, we will start do the billing. We will do the billing, invoicing to UiTM stated what are the service we rendered, and then it depends the credit terms we offer for them. For the new customers, usually we don't give much credit terms from the invoice dated, but anyhow for our regular or major customers, we do give for 30 days credit terms. Okay, next we will see into the export flow. This is the opposite round. Just now is the incoming where you importing from the overseas, but this one is something you export to overseas. Same thing, same rounds, but the other way around, how we can say is you want to export to Melbourne, Australia, for example, from Penang. So what you have to do is you have to make a booking with the agent, shipping agent, and we will provide you booking agents, and then we will send you the empty containers for you to load your goods into the containers. After the loading, we will truck that loaded container to the port, and from the port we load it into the ship. So that's how the process go on, and in between there will be custom declaration process, everything will be there. Same goes as the import shipments. So this is how these two things works. So I think you have some pictures of what is all about freight forwarding agents now. So next I will explain on what are the other freight forwarding services included in our PSA. As we've seen before, we already as a main job scope as the forwarding clearance. So now we also doing freight services for the SIM, as freight outsource services for the SIM. So usually, what is the function of this warehouse? As freight outsource services for the SIM. Usually, place for starving or unstarving or don't have space in your factory might use our warehouse for this kind of activities actually. So in a way, mostly they will use for the good storage, since some factories do not have much space for their good storage, so they can use our storage for that. Besides that, we do have insurance coverage for the cargoes. So for example, when our customers have export shipments, they need to cover their goods, because certain goods are flammable, DG cargoes, and some are fragile. So in order to make sure there is a safeguard, actually, they need this insurance. Then we do have packaging services for certain goods, like when, for example, certain of our customer who have migrated from overseas to Malaysia for some time, maybe exchange programs or what. So suddenly they want to go back to their own country. They need to bring their whole household items. So we need to help them to pack their household items, and then that also one of the service we are rendering as well, and then ship it out to their origin country. So that's it. So let's look into what is ocean freight all about. As we seen earlier, we are doing freighting, I have mentioned. So freight is a method of transporting large quantities of goods by carrier ship. Carrier ship. So is I hope you all aware there is a lot of ship carrying containers, like CMA, CGM, Maersk Line, One High. All these liners, even on the roads, you can see on the containers. These names are very familiar. I hope you have seen. If not familiar, after this, try to have a look around. Sure, you will find these words. So mostly there are standard sizes of 20-footer and 40-footer of containers. So typical cargo ship can carry approximately 18,000 containers, which means that sea freight is a cost-effective method of transporting large quantities of goods over long distance. So the cost involved in the process of transporting the goods from point A to B is called as the ocean freight shipping rates. Okay. Ocean freight here means when you are exporting from Penang port to Melbourne port, the cost between these two routes is what you call the ocean freight. So whatever cost incurred here is ocean freights. So that is where we also having this service where we are selling freights for our customer by arranging to overseas shipments. So let's see what are the influential factors in ocean freight rates. For sure is the fuel. As the fuel oil price fluctuate, the price for the ocean freight shipping will follow as well. Lower oil prices typically result in lower ocean shipping rates. This is vice versa as well. When the oil price increase, definitely the shipping rates will be increased as well. And the currency exchange rates also play a major role because all the ocean freights are paid under USD. It's not under RM. Even you ship it out from Malaysia, it is under USD. Unless your local charges is under Ringgit Malaysia. But all your freight are under USD. So whatever there is a fluctuation happens in the money markets, so it affects your ocean freight rates as well. So let's look into the capacity. Low capacity on ships due to high demand can cause shipping rates to rise on occasion. Yeah. This is not frequent situation, but it's just happened occasionally where the ship only capable to take about 600 containers, where the demand for that ship is they're requesting about 700. So when the liner aware of the demand, they might cause the shipping rates increase during that time. So that also could be one of the costs.
Madam Prabha, now we have it's about oil price, okay, one of the big issue. So how this situation affect to your organization, I mean to your company?
Actually, the oil price fluctuation or increase, to be honest, it doesn't affect forwarding agent that much comparatively to our customers, because we are buying and selling. So whatever we are buying, we are selling back. So it doesn't affect us that much, but it has increased the cost for our customer definitely in this situation.
Jika harga minyak tu turun, adakah harga perkhidmatan tu akan turun ataupun macam mana tu?
Yeah, definitely, because it's all based on perkhidmatan is not. Perkhidmatan, I mean harga perkhidmatan tu, servis kami tu tetap. So harga tu standardized. But for the transportation prices, for the ocean freight charges, yang tu ada mempengaruhi. There is some reductions there if there is a decrease in oil price.
Okay.
Let's go into next slide. Okay, haulage services. Yeah, I think I have explained earlier. We do the haulage services for the containerized movements and also for the lorry transport. So as we can see here, we do for both movements, import and export, and for the empty containers, and we do provide shunting services. Okay, what do we mean by the shunting services here? Let's say your customer required you to deliver the container to their factory on today. So your driver already there to send the container to the factory, but unfortunately upon arrival of the driver, there is no space at the warehouse, so they cannot unload it. So, and moreover, the loading bay is congested. There is another container is waiting to unloading. So in this situation, they will request the driver to park at the reserved place and ask the driver to go back first. So what is on the second day they might call you back. Okay, say, what do we mean by the shunting services here? We are able to, let's say your customer required you to deliver the container to their factory. This is what we call shunting. So the second day, so your driver already there to send the container to the factory, but unfortunately upon arrival of the driver, there is no space at the warehouse, so they cannot unload it. So, and moreover, the loading bay is congested. There is another container is waiting to unload it. Certain situation where in this situation they will request the driver to park at the reserved place and ask the driver to go back first. Don't have parking space. What is the second day they might call you back. Okay, so what do we mean by this situation? We will help them to keep their containers at our depot temporarily. So until they feel that they have space, then we will send in the containers. So again, I want to stress here, the haulage service here was also mainly outsourced. We don't have our own hauliers or lorries. We have our own 1-tonner lorries, the small one, but we also provide lorry services up to 40-footer trucks. That also outsourced services, and we have the cross-border services as well, which is from Malaysia to Singapore and also from Malaysia to Thailand. All these services, mainly for the containerized haulage services, are rendered location at the Prai, Penang and also Port Klang, Selangor. So we see here again, the influential factor for the haulage or transport here is fuel and also toll. As the diesel price hike, this will automatically increase the FAF percentage. That means fuel adjustment factor will be affected. So these haulage rates always fluctuate, follow the diesel price. So this goes to toll as well. But toll price, I don't think so will increase frequently. They have a very occasion situation. So see, okay. I hope you're clear on this, and we go to the next slide now. Okay, so interesting part here, how we manage our PSA during the MCO, CMCO and RMCO. So as everyone aware about, MCO is a very, very crucial situation, not only for freight forwarders, but also many manufacturers, companies, business entities, and moreover. And even for you guys, students also have faced a lot of difficulties during the MCO. So when it was announced on the 3rd March 2020, it created a quandary situation, means a panic situation for us. But anyhow, we are one of the Penang Freight Forwarding Association's member. So through them, they were they was extremely helpful in terms of guidance for the operations approval during the MCO for us. So they have guided us how to do the application. So since they are announced as forwarding agencies, one of the essential sector. So because we need to clear the essential goods to move on, and so they need our services during the time. So nearly 98% of the 1,300 members registered under the FMFF have received the approval to operate during the MCO. So many of our customers' factory closed due to the non-essential goods slow in shipment volume. Yeah, this is definitely is a heart-aching situation for us, whereby non-essential goods during the time are not allowed. And to say majority our customers is also fall under the non-essential, and a lot of their goods been idle in the port because the factory was closed down and they couldn't take out their import shipments at all. So that is a hard time for us during the time. Okay, another thing, 2/3 of our staffs travel to work every day on the rotating basis during the time. This is due to this is another hindrance for us. Because why? Most of them are working from home, but we couldn't do that. So it's a big downfall for us, drawback for us, because we are not that prepared or digitalized during the time. So because most of the things are installed in our PC at office and not in our laptop. So we don't have the personal laptops where all the softwares related to the declarations or important documents are installed. So all are in our PCs, and all are mostly manual documentations. So this caused a lot of quite a tough period for us to really. So we have to, no matter what, we have to go to work. So physical movement during the time also is quite tough. You have to cross the checkings, so many things, procedures during the time. So, but the transition between MCO and CMCO is really, we make a agile movement. Agility is very important when you face with a crucial situation. So swiftness, in a better word, swiftness is very important here. When you know there is a crucial situation is happening in your company, what is the next step you have to move on? You cannot simply say, I'm in manual, I don't have data systems. No, you cannot do that. So what is the next move we take here is we prepare in terms of application system, digitalization. Immediately, we devise a strategy to persuade the staff to install the custom declaration software on the laptop. Okay, as I said, not many of us in the company have the own laptop. Only a handful of them have the laptop, and the rest, they don't even have laptop at home. So there, where we bring a plan, we offer a loan program for them, where we arrange laptops for them through our IT with a reasonable price, and we purchase for whoever don't have laptops in our company, we have purchased for them, and this was deducted monthly from their salary with affordable amount agreed by the employees. For example, there are some where we deducted 50 ringgit per month without any interest, so that they, in both way, we are benefited. The company has benefited, and in a way the staff also benefited, because after this they can work from home. They no need to struggle. They can follow up from wherever they are, because previously, even no matter what, they have to come to office and do the job. So both are benefited, and we are happy and resolve the problem. So next we will see the RMCO transition. So here we are better off. Non-essential goods are start to permit to operate, and everything going back on the track. And here from these three transition, we have learned a great lessons, and we learn how to survive during the tough time, which we never faced back 40 years back. So that's it. So next we will look into how COVID affect us. Okay, I will show you one of the customer, just the example of one of our customer, non-essential. You can see how is the fall we face here. The shipment volume have just fall like that from the March, excuse me, onwards. So it takes some time to go up back. But if you see why it caused the fall, because they couldn't take up the containers from port during the time because they are closed down, because not allowed. So that is the main reason why there is a fall here. So yeah, our revenue fall for our non-essential customers such as tires, paints, machinery, spare parts. So whoever we've been handling all these commodities, yeah, the revenues have fall down for us. So next we look into the essential goods here. So yeah, there is one side is a cons, there is a pros where we have a great making here for the essential goods. So during the time, gloves, masks are very, very essential, and we make a good number of revenues here during the time. Comparatively with 2019, 2020 and 2021, we make a great number through these exportations of gloves. So in a way, this has balanced out our revenue from constraints as well. So let's move on. Okay. What is the other factors affect us besides COVID and MCO? It's not about COVID only here. There are a lot of issues besides that. One of it was the Suez Canal blockage. This kind of putting salt to your wound. You're not even recovering from one issue, but you already have another issues is coming up. That is where the Suez Canal blockage has happened. Okay, this incident has thrown the global supply chain into total chaos. The Suez Canal, one of the highest traffic shipping route, was closed on March 23, 2021 by a huge container called Ever Given. So this Ever Given was actually routed from Malaysia to Netherlands. So what happened actually, due to the strong winds on the day and caused the head of the vessel deviate, leading it off course and being stuck on the southern canal. Actually, due to the strong wind, this vessel, you can see this vessel, right, has been stuck here. So it has blocked the whole canal. So what happened then? Over 400 vessels scheduled to traverse the canal in the east-west and west-east direction are affected due to the blockage. So meanwhile, some of the affected ships detour 3,000 miles to Africa's southernmost tip, the Cape of Good Hope. The alternative route is quite long. Yeah. So when this route was blocked, and you see here the orange line here, this is the actual route where the Ever Given vessel should use this route to reach the Netherlands. But now, due to the blockage here, they have to make a big round. And what will cost if they make a big round here? Definitely it's going to affect their cost. This journey going to cost their fuel and the delay on their shipments. It's going to take about more than 2 to 3 weeks additional. So all these damages and costs, they're going to bear it? So that's another issue here. So what is the impact here? The consequences include effect on the logistic operation, legal and insurance, with the parties not limiting to the carriers, shippers and terminals. The blockage had disrupted the delivery of over 9 billion worth of goods each day, which means to say 400 worth of trade per hour. It had been stuck for more than 6 days, resulting in an estimate 54 billion trade loss. Just because of the 6 days blockage here, it already cost us about 54 billion trade loss. So shipping delays, which have caused a lot of issues for the importers and shipping lines. Some of the customers been waiting for the raw materials. So the production might stop because the arrival, it takes about another 2 to 3 weeks delay. So it's caused delays for our customers as well. The cost of shipping has doubled since the virus outbreak. Added with this scenario, the cost has further increased. As we can see earlier, because of the COVID situation, the shipping cost is already spiked. a lot. But adding with this situation, it's going to another additional cost again. So in a way, it is also another factor is affecting our logistics sectors. So next, let's look into why freight rates have surged tremendously. Yes, so it because of unprecedented shortage of containers, so forcing the maritime freight charges to skyrocket. So when we see, according to a survey conducted by the Malaysian National Shippers Council, sea freight is now at an all-time high, having surged up to 700% from pre-pandemic levels, which means to say, compared to 2019, before the pandemic, the rates have spiked about 700% higher. That is quite a lot. And even though it's not going to affect as a forwarding agent, but it affects our customers a lot. Because plenty of containers are now stranded in ports across the globe because the slow repositioning of empty containers created a shortage of this storage unit. So what it means here is, during the MCO, where a lot of, globally it was locked down. So you cannot take up the container from the port, or you cannot export during the time. So when you cannot take up your container from the container and unload it, so there is no empty containers for time being. So we are shortage of empty containers, and we cannot export as well. So your export revenue also will be affected, because without empty containers you cannot ship out as well, even though essential goods. So that is what is the situation we faced in certain months during the COVID. Reportedly, ports in Europe and US are congested amid logistic disruption related to the corona pandemic, and idle containers remain in several ports. This is what I mean. The containers are ideal in certain countries which are not really needed that container, but the certain countries like China, who need a lot of containers for ship out, they don't have empty containers. So this is where there is caused the spike of rates of freight. Okay, next. Okay, let's go into the cost management at Penang Shipping during the pandemic. Okay, how do Penang Shipping manage the cost here? Since we are a small company, we don't go for extraordinary planning for the cost management. We just go for a simple one, which is we able to do. So first, we try to reduce the waste. How is it possible here? Okay, we try to lower the paper usage and be more to digitalization, as I said earlier. We try to use the whatever systems have given, try to store in our laptops or PCs instead of printing all the while. Actually, initially we have done all that mistakes. We used to print, because in our sectors, documentation is very important. You need to keep as a record here and there. So we try to minimize that. We try to find a way how we're going to store all this without printing, without filing. So that's where we try to go for paperless. Next, we try to lower our utility costs. So this we try by lower the electricity usage, minimize the air conditioner usage, because if you see, my office itself have about 5 to 6 air conditioner. 5 to 6 air conditioners. So we initially used all of them, but now we realize that it's enough to use. We switch on 3 instead of 5. So in a way, that also is a cost saving for us. So sometimes when we go for a lunch, even one person in a office who not going for lunch, the whole lights will be on. But now, no. Maybe her place we will remain the lights on, but the rest we will off the light, and we try to unplug most of the unused electrical items as well in the office. So if you see, for the color printings as well, we have reduced on it, because if you see, we have 2 rented office printers, the big one. So it costs almost 80 cents to 1 ringgit for a color printing. So it's quite a lot. So we only use color printings for the official matters. So for the normal usage, we prefer more to black and white printings. So the next, we have reduced our business hours as well. So previously, before pandemic, we worked 6 days per week until Saturday, but due to the COVID, we have minimized it to 5 days. So now that also have contribute a lot for the utility cost reduction initially. So, and also working hours during pandemic was 6 hours instead of 8 hours. So that is how we have managed our cost here, and we have more here. Next, we have reduced the traveling. So we have suspended all the business travel, and we also imposed expenses limit for the business travel. So since pandemic started, there is no business travel, and even we can, during the time we can travel, we not really encourage for the expenses or travel costs for our employees. So that save cost for us as well. So besides that, we done some spending services where our entertainment costs have been reduced. Besides that, we done some spending services where our entertainment costs have been reduced. Besides that, we done some spending services where our entertainment costs have been reduced. Besides that, we done some spending on social fund where our entertainment costs have been reduced. Besides that, we done some spending, which means that we can take in another days or what, something like that. So when we look into the entertainment cost here, usually previously we used to go for buffet lunch. We go for restaurants, we celebrate birthdays, farewells. So when the interns want to leave your company, we will do some celebration at the restaurants or nearby shops, something like that. But now, during the pandemic, we don't have opportunity of this. We are cut off on this, but we start to have a gathering among our staff by bringing our own food. Each one we cook our own foods, and we do like a potluck. So that actually creates a very close bonding among us, and it makes us more happier compared to what we done before, eating outside and we come back office, do our work. But here it's like a family. When we cook, each one cook one meal, and then we try, and sharings make a complete happiness, right? So that is how it happens. So, and moreover, we don't have new hiring here. So during the pandemic, we don't hire any new staff and no internship as well. But now 2022, we have a new hiring. We start to have new hiring, and also we have 2 internship students who have entered this February. So most importantly here, it might look like these points are very simple, where reduce travel, reduce spending is all the company can do. But how many of the company really execute all these points? Without execution, you can't see any savings there. Yeah, you can do such a big plan for the cost management at a company, but important is you execute that. And we have executed that, and we have seen the improvements of savings in our accounts by month. Of course, you cannot see immediately, but by month, you can see the difference. So next.
Madam?
Yes, doctor?
Question, you say you change the working days, the number of working days from to 5. So how you see the efficiency this method?
Yeah. Okay, the efficiency part. Definitely is efficiency, because previously they are worked 6 days, now 5 days. So definitely they know from Friday, their working is only until Friday. So definitely they have to do their parts. This is to avoid for example, or Deepavali. So if in a department, if all are Malays or all are Indians or all are Chinese, there is some difficulties, because we have to allow them for a holiday. So we cannot stop them from taking holidays, because it happens once a year, right? So that's why we arrange in a way they have a pairing. So each departments, they will have a multiracial staffs, where even one go for a holiday, there is another to back up back up the job. This is how our arrangement is. So we don't want any disruption in our works. At the same time, we need to look into our employees' welfare as well. So that's why. So I don't think so there is a efficiency problem even we cut off the 5 days working hours here, because our management's arrangement of the works are very systematic.
Madam Prabha, in terms of the savings, how many percent you estimate when you do the reduce the travel, reduce the spending? How many percent decreasing in terms of the cost?
You mean, doctor? You mean how many percent of savings we may need to get? I can say randomly about 40 to 50%. Because it's not I'm not talking about 1 month. If you see about a year, it quite a number saving you can make there. Because if you see our electricity, it touched about 1,000 plus, but now it's about 800. So it is kind of a 200 plus reductions there. When you are no more working on Saturday, there is a reduction on aircon usage.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's look into our recovery strategies here. Means how we survive during the MCO with the kind of helps or our own funds. So first we look into the government incentives, that is per keso. These incentives program fall under the Package Rancangan Ekonomi Prihatin Rakyat 2020 program subsidi upah, where the full subsidy have been granted for the workers with wages below 4,000. So we have received this incentive from April to October 2020 for the employees who have having wages below 4,000. But anyhow, we received 50% of subsidy granted from November to March 2021. So this actually have helped us in a way to pay off the salaries, and we have balanced out a lot of things through these incentives as well. So besides that, we have our own company reserve funds. Now these funds is usually we always keep for our emergency funding needs. So it's not only PSA, I think many of the companies will have this because this is where they will make use of the reserve funds during the needy time or crucial moments. So next is our floating payment agreement. So this one, we have requested our customer to make advance payment every month with a structured payment agreement according to the terms and conditions. So why actually we go for this floating payment agreement? So when we see as a manufacturing companies, is a whole big company, the internal procedure is a very long process. When they want to get approval for a payment, for a one shipment payment, you have to go through many processes. So your director have to signature, your account director have to signature, then go to another level, then finally you have approved the payment. So this process might delay your shipment as well. Without shipping line charges, without payment of duties, you cannot clear your goods, you cannot get your containers. So in this way, finance shipping are different from other agents where we offer the service where we pay on behalf for them. We settle everything and then we bill back later. So in that way, it smooths the shipments process as well, and we speed up the process. We don't wait until a company approve the payment. We pay on behalf first, later we bill back them. So, but there is a cons here when we do this for our customer. Excuse me. Because during the pandemic, I understand our manufacturers have the financial constraints as well. So usually we will get weekly payment from whatever we upfront for our customer, we will get it weekly. So for example, we have upfront 200,000 weekly and we will get back the 200,000 by the Friday. But what happened was, during the pandemic, we only get back 100,000 weekly. We short off 100,000, and the next week, the following week rotation, we have short fund. So that's where we have to go back to our emergency funding and so on. So this make us difficult. Actually, it's not our own expenditure, but we are paying on behalf and we are shortage because of the paying on behalf. That's why we come with the strategy where we request the customer to advance the payment monthly, whereby the customer will bank in monthly, for example, 200,000, and we deduct from there for every shipments of theirs, and we will update the summary for them every 15 days of the month. So in a way, it ease off our burden, and we still do the upfront payments for our major customers till now, and things goes on well. So let's look on the next one. So market sustainability. Let's see how PSA able to sustain 40 years until now. Even as we can see, competition in this logistic industry was considerably very high, but on the other hand, it is moderate because most forwarding agencies has a fixed client base. So where clients did not often switch forwarding agents regularly unless they are dissatisfied with these agents' services or performance. The reason is, as what I said earlier, our prices are standardized, not much difference. There are some difference in terms of certain prices, but it's not, we cannot see much there. But your services have differences. The quality you're going to provide, how speed you are. So in this service, speed is very important. You cannot afford to make your customer wait, and you cannot cause any charges for them due to your lateness. So that is very important in this service sector. So another point is here, the appointment of a forwarding agent did not necessitate a registration with the Royal Malaysian Customs, and a client were required to re-register with custom when they required a change in forwarding agent. So this is another hindrance for our customer as well. If let's say they already appoint you as their agent, so this process is not just by mouth, so say that I appoint you, but you have to submit documentation to the Royal Custom to say that this customer will become appoint us as their agent. So if you in between, if you feel you want to change to others, you have to go through the process again. It takes another time frame for that process. So this is not a convenient situation for our customers. So unless your performance is very bad, then only they will take this decision where they will change to other agent. Besides that, the services which we provide are more comprehensive, such as transportation, warehouse facilities, distribution services, and freight services. So we have the one-stop solution. If your customer come to you, let you know you have a shipment, we will do everything for you, from A to Z, door to door, port to door. So whatever it is, we can settle for you. So we won't let you, let's say, we won't give excuses, say that we only do declarations for you. Transportation, you have to look after other agents. We don't have such things. We will do everything completely. That's where customers likes you, because you have all the services on hand. So they don't need to look or survey around for other services. So another issue here is the main challenges in the freight forwarding industry are the huge capital investment. So in order for you to start up or run a business in this sector as a freight forwarders, capital is very important. As what I said earlier, upfronting money is also one of the factors where you customers likes, because they prefer you pay first, then you bill them back, rather than they have 20 shipment. You don't expect your customer every 20 shipment they approve payment. So they expect you pay first, then you claim back. That's why they like, because that makes the job speedy. So capital is very important, and not much newcomers in this field have this much of capitals. So to sustainability without the capital is very hard in these terms. So another thing, how much credit terms you are able to give to your customer. So some like big companies, they prefer to pay you monthly for your service charges. Mainly for the brokering charges, they prefer to pay you monthly. This is exceptional for the shipping line charges which we have paid on behalf earlier. For the custom brokerage services, we usually give 30 days credit term for our major customers or regular customers. For the new customers, we will give like 1 week or 15 days. Our key reason for 40 years of success in this market is definitely our agility, adoption of every changes happen in this sector. So if you never act quickly upon the changes happen or upon any situations is happening in these sectors, then you are lag at back. So people will over you. So another thing is service of quality is very important. How efficient you are, the performance is very important in the service sectors. So another thing, experience management. So as we can see, Mr. Chow and Mr. Malai was very, very experienced people who know every nuances about the customs, and also even if you go in as if every single thing without referring to any books or what, they can immediately advise you. They have such knowledge. So it's a privilege for us to have such founders in PSA. So this is where builds our consumers and suppliers trust in PSA, ability to resolve any issues that arise during shipment arrivals, and not only that, when we outsource services from our suppliers like transportations or warehousing, our payment is very, very important. Our name in the market when in the market must be very, very clean in terms of the payment method. So if they rendered you a service, you have to pay them on time. So when we outsource transportation or warehouse services, we pay them on time. So the payment also very important to make sure the next service this is to avoid very much better or perfect, so that your service, without their support, your service cannot be perfect as well. So I think that's the end of my presentations today about PSA. Thank you, Dr. Khairi.
Okay, thank you. Terima kasih Puan Prabha. Satu perkongsian yang saya rasa sangat jelas dan kita boleh melihat banyak konsep ekonomi yang telah diterangkan dalam pembentangan berkaitan dengan pengurusan kos dan juga pasaran. Kalau kita lihat tadi, Puan Prabha ada jelaskan bagaimana dia syarikat atau organisasi iaitu Inland Shipping Company mengurangkan kos semasa MCO dan sebagainya, bagaimana pemilihan dari segi perkhidmatan yang diberikan, apa yang perlu dibuat, dan yang paling cantik tadi kalau kita nampak adanya sustainability, maksudnya plan untuk kelangsungan itu untuk pada masa hadapan apa yang perlu dibuat untuk memastikan terus kekal. Seperti yang kita tahu dah 40 tahun ya Puan Prabha?
Ya betul, 40 tahun.
40 tahun. Kalau 10 tahun lagi cukup separuh abad. Sebab kalau kita tengok company ni kalau lebih daripada 10 tahun, itu satu keadaan yang boleh dikatakan agak hebat kerana cabaran utama adalah 1 hingga 3 tahun, tapi selepas itu dia pada fasa yang telah matang. Okey. Sebelum sekarang kita beralih kepada sesi soal jawab. Saya akan ambil dulu soalan daripada YouTube, daripada para pelajar. Mungkin soalan ni boleh dijawab oleh Puan Prabha lah berkenaan dengan industri. Okey. Soalan pertama datangnya daripada Nur Izzah Atira. My question is, why do you think customer doesn't choose other transport mode, air instead of using sea, even they know there is a shorting of container and delays during the pandemic period? Maksudnya masa pandemik, kenapa masih lagi memilih walaupun mereka telah tahu mungkin ada keberhasilan untuk delay dalam proses?
Okay, in this case, we can see that even the customer aware about the container shortage if they use the sea mode, but why they can't use the air mode? Because of the cost. So again, the cost play a role here. So if you transport using sea, it cost effective for you because it's one whole containers. But if you want to ship by using air mode, it's going to cost you double. if let's say, for example, I can tell you one container, if let's say by sea is $200, it will cost $1,000 if you use by air. So how you think a customer will going to choose air or mode in this situation? Of course, moreover, it's a pandemic situation, they have the cost cutting as well. So of course, definitely they will going to use the sea mode, even though there is a shortage, they're willing to wait in certain situation unless there is a crucial moments when the goods is very much needed. This happens usually for the spare parts. So if let's say the machinery have any problems or what in your production and you need some changes of the spare parts, then there will be an immediate shipments from the overseas through the air, then you can get your spare parts. But for bulk shipments like tires, gloves, they prefer sea modes rather than using the air.
So it's based on the preference from the customer, right?
Yes. And also their cost management as well.
Cost management. Okay. So to the next question from Alia. Okay, from Prabha, in your opinion, does number of staff in a small company have any influential factor to the company performance? Ini mungkin kalau kita fikir bila syarikat tu dah lama, kita perlukan lebih banyak staff ataupun macam mana tu Puan?
Actually, number of staff doesn't play a role here. Because every staff have segregated their own job scopes and everything. So we don't need extra. Sometimes you have more staffs can cause a free riders as well. Because inefficiency, because they might not have much works. So it's better to hire accordingly, systematically when you feel that position is needed. Rather than you simply take a lot of staff, you feel that there is more shipments or whatever. I think it's not unnecessary. So number of staff doesn't make sense on the efficiency of the company.
And then for your company, how you decide the number of staff based on the situation? Means during the pandemic, before.
Actually, during the pandemic, actually we are full swing. All of us work because we are essential services during the time. All of us work, but just the 2/3. So we have a rotating basis, which I explained earlier. We have a rotating basis, but because each department have two, one head and one assistant. So they can each other to communicate. One might take off and another one will back up. And so the next day another one will come back. So we have a rotating basis. So there is a mutual understanding between the two partners.
Okay, I think we have. I think this question from me is about the reserve fund. Just explained just now in your presentation. Can you explain what is the reserve fund for your organization and how the significant this fund to your company activity?
Actually, reserve funds is not only for PSA but for many companies is very important. I think all the companies have this reserve fund. Not only company, our government also have this reserve fund, which is needed during the crucial times or emergency purposes. So as an individual, we do have the reserve fund as well as a saving. So this pandemic have taught us that, right? So we cannot fully dependent on other resources when comes such crucial moments. For example, Penang shipping, we initially we don't know that will be a pre-Hatin's incentives they're going to announce, but we have to be back up with our own plan, with our own reserve funds. So this is where the reserve funds make us feel like safe in that moments, because I can tell you that during the pandemic we able to give bonus to our staffs. So what this makes us give this, because of the reserves which we have managed to cost well. That's why during the pandemic we still managed to give their bonus without any disruption. So
okay, thank you, madam. Maybe we have one more question from our student. Okay, the question is, why certain services at PSA outsourced from outside? Means that why you do not totally managed it by your company? Kenapa perlu ada daripada luar in
Okay,
outsource?
this one because to reduce the operational cost. Not all the means to say the services are fully used. Like to say, if we have our own warehouse, we have to maintain that. We have to hire people to take care of that. So many costs involved in that. But we just use when we need it. We outsource when we want it. So we have some collaboration with our warehouse parties, which we've been ties up for many years. And same goes for our transportation. We use them, we have a collaborations with them. So we actually avoid all these maintenance costs. So we just use when we need it. So in a way, this is how we maintain our costs as well. So we feel that it's not necessary for Penang Shipping to have whole containers, trailers, or a whole big warehouse. Maybe if we expand our business in future, maybe we will consider on having our own warehouse.
Okay. Maybe we have another question. Aflin, do you have any question from the audience? Kita ada soalan lagi ataupun tidak? Oh, tak ada. Okay. I think that's all question from the audience. Okay. Itulah tadi sesi perkongsian kita untuk hari ini. Sebelum saya akhiri program kita pada hari ini, saya harap maybe kemungkinan Puan Prabha boleh buat satu kesimpulan berkenaan dengan tajuk yang kita bincangkan pada hari ini.
Basically what I can say here is that whenever there is, it's not to say for a company, for you as the students or any sectors or whatever. So when a problem is spoke up, a crucial situation is spoke up, it's very important for us to take a swift, swift decision. You have to think about how to go further. Overcome this, rather than you think that people will come and help you. So it's not always people will come and help you. By the time people come and help you, it's already too late for you. So that's why what I feel was swift agility is very important in this situation. And I felt that this pandemic actually has taught us a lot of lessons. Learn in the hardest moment. So I think after this, I don't know we will have any hardest situation than this or what, but we are more tougher now. This give us some strongness to go further. So I wish luck for all the students here. Hope when you come to the industries after your graduation, you face the industries. I hope you all can be more agile. Agile is very important. How you react on certain situation. So yes, you at first, of course, everyone will feel like panic and feel, oh, what's going to happen next? But don't. You calm down and then you think what the solution you can take. And this is how Penang Shipping can overcome it, and we are here now. After the pandemic, we're still surviving. So I hope you guys can be the same as well.
Okay, terima kasih Puan Prabha. Maka sekian saja perkongsian kita pada hari ini. Terima kasih sekali lagi. Dan terima kasih juga kepada para pencara, ahli akademik dan juga pelajar kerana turut serta dalam menjayakan program ataupun sesi webinar kita pada hari ini. Sebelum tu mungkin kita semua boleh ambil gambar, foto, EDK, pelajar, ahli akademik untuk membuka kamera masing-masing. Mungkin EDK boleh tolong ambilkan. Okay, mohon semua pelajar untuk ikut kamera masing-masing. Sean, gambar. Moderator dengan penceramah dah buka dari tadi dah ni. Okay. Siapa yang akan ambil ya? Ablin akan ambil. Betul. Our AJK.
Aflin tolong ambil ya.
Mohon semua pelajar untuk buka kamera masing-masing. Ablin dah boleh ambil ke macam mana? Ini dah buka. Jadi kita bagi masa dulu pada para peserta di akademi dan pelajar. Ini dah boleh mula untuk ambil macam mana?
Void.
Okey, dah ambil belum? AJK, Ablin dah selesai?
Okey, ready ya? Saya ambilkan.
Okey.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay.
Itu saja.
Okay.
Okey. Maka sekian saja sesi perkongsian kita pada hari ini. Jutaan terima kasih diucapkan kepada penceramah kita. Saya berharap, saya bagi pihak penganjur memohon ampun dan maaf sekiranya terdapat sebarang kekurangan sepanjang program ini berlangsung, dan jangan lupa untuk daftar kehadiran anda dengan mengisi link yang disediakan di ruangan chat di YouTube dan juga Google. Sekian, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Jumpa lagi.